I think there's a number of different drivers. I think if you look at the extent of investment in Africa, it's clearly significantly risen, particularly over the last 2 or 3 years. And since the financial crisis, as you would have heard me say earlier, we had a good deal of liquidity from international investors left Africa post the initiation of the financial crisis. But that liquidity has returned, and it's returned with strength, and we expect that to continue. In terms of the investment types, it really depends on the nature of the client and indeed their underlying client. So, for example, what we see with the long-only or hedge fund investors is significant interest in structures like listed notes, Pan-African funds, ETF product with a regional flavor, which could be all of Africa or it could be sub-Saharan Africa. We also see a lot of interest generated through the investment banks on behalf of their clients often, particularly around things like government debt, where there's been strong demand for government debt across sub-Saharan Africa, with many of the issues being oversubscribed to multiple times. So in that sense, the drivers will vary, but the overriding thing is that whether it's a long-only investor, whether it's proprietary trading, whether it's hedge fund investing, we're seeing activity across the board. In addition, the returns that have been achieved in Africa have been exceptional in global standards. So whether it's the return on fixed income investments and the interest available to investors, whether it's the equity markets, some of which have performed in excess of 40% year on year, that look for return in the context of global portfolios is obviously another drive for interest in the African markets, particularly as there's greater comfort in things like political stability, social stability, the nature of the underlying infrastructure in those markets. So we've got a dynamic where there's an interest in the region, which is still small, with still lots of potential to grow in the context of a global portfolio. But you've got that interest combined with developments of sustainability of infrastructure in many of the markets. It doesn't mean there's not still a lot of work to do, but the Africa lion is definitely roaring, and there's still considerable upside for the region based on all the indicators that we see.